So this is Josh. He's pretty famous on YouTube. You might have heard of him, Strength Side.
That's right, yeah.
And why don't you just talk a little bit about the shoulder issues that you're having and what we're dealing with?
Yeah, I have, for as long as I can remember, had this right shoulder that just seems to always want to like be in this position, rolled forward. I played tons of baseball growing up as a kid and just throwing endless summers and stuff like that. I played quarterback football as well. And ever since that time, like getting into training in my early 20s and now I'm 37, I've just always had this right shoulder issue. And when I start trying to ramp up my training and get stronger and like things like military presses where it shows up a lot, is I'll just find that the shoulder kind of collapse, the shoulder blade wings, and yeah, it's hard to kind of go to the next level.
Let's take a look. Show them what this looks like.
So on the military press, the shoulder will kind of collapse, and then I don't know if we can see from this angle, but that's when I'll get some kind of winging here in the shoulder blade. I think it's doing it right now.
So everyone wants to pull your shoulder back. Yeah, everyone wants to do that, okay? And what happens is that we can't get that shoulder to anchor downward. So I want him to actually go forward a little bit, push down where there's no winging at all. So right there, if we go from behind now, there's no winging there. And if he rolls back, go ahead. But what we don't want him to do right now is if you go ahead, come over to that side. Right, exactly. Just keep this here and now roll the shoulder back just a little bit. Yeah, and did you feel how it popped out a little bit more, or did it stay stable?
I think it popped out a little bit.
Yeah, so right there, that's where he's going to stay totally flat, and there's nothing. If he roll, now watch, when he rolls back, go ahead, roll back. Do you see how his comes almost up at an angle here? Go ahead, roll that, right, roll back as much as you can, and push down. You see how it doesn't want to push down from there?
Yeah.
Now roll forward, and push. And now you feel how you can drive it down.
Yeah.
That's where you want to be at. And what's going to happen is if he stays in this position, as long as he keeps his posture, without trying, if you just push it down, over time it's going to move on this angle. And then it's going to be positioned here, but it's going to be positioned down. If he rolls back, and then he tries to push down like everyone teaches,
It just feels blocked.
it feels blocked, and this will start popping out, okay? So he's got to start there and really develop his depression here where there's nothing. And that's pretty good. Good control. And with him, look at how giant his Teres Major is. And this is what I always tell people is, the Teres Major, go ahead, take a break. The Teres Major is, it could be highly developed, but that doesn't mean your shoulder's in good position. It's just, the exercise is going to develop a Teres Major. It's really a Teres Minor and Infraspinatus that are going to downward depress the shoulder. So we're going to get that. That's why people like him have a hard time getting into the rotator cuff. Right? Mm-hmm. Because when they try to do it, the shoulder's here like this, and we haven't depressed it down so he can access his infraspinatus. And when I talk about infraspinatus, it's this muscle here. And the Teres Minor, which is, I think, is even more valuable. And if you look at where the Teres Minor hooks, a very short lever, so it really anchors that shoulder down. That's good. So we're going to start with this exercise here with him. Get him going. Let's do the other side too.
Yeah. About chest height, is that what?
I would say mid-chest height is good.
Okay.
You want to have a little bit, when you're doing this here, you want to have, do you see how when you push down, I have that a little bit, okay. Right? If it's here, now it's just pulling, so it doesn't force the depression.
Okay.
And look at the angle that this is driving on. It's the same as the shoulder.
Ah, okay.
Right?
Okay,
it's the same plane that the shoulder's moving on.
That makes sense.
So on this side, he's not going to have to, good, drive it, good. So you see how, if we're looking at this, come right there, see how he's just got a little bit of chest that we're seeing there, and then push down, straight down. And if you feel it move on this plane, then you let it. But that's where he can be. So see how he has more chest exposure on this side, and he's depressing. So over time then, we're gonna get it to move to about here on this angle. On the other side, go ahead, roll the shoulder forward just a little bit more. He had to start there. You see how there's no chest exposure, or very little, okay? So now depress, and just watch, bam, that's where it goes on this side. So that's where you start on this side. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Go ahead and straighten your knees up. Yeah.
So basically on this side, I'm able to start with the shoulder back a little bit more.
Because when you push down, if you push down, that's where it goes.
Right.
Right?
Exactly, yeah.
If you roll it back farther, go ahead, roll it back, watch. Do you see how, do you see how it doesn't want to depress there? It kind of gets locked.
Okay, yeah.
So go to where, right? Yeah. So I mean, this is an elite level athlete. So his body awareness is ridiculous. I mean, if you watch the guy online on all the mobility stuff he can do and strength, so he's going to be able to get in these positions much more fine-tuned than other people. Don't get a big ego, okay? All right, that's good, guys.
Yeah,
But
it feels
you
really
feel
good.
that. That's what you want.
Yeah. But I mean, on that left side, it feels like it just feels more fluid into that pocket.
Exactly.
Even though this left side's not perfect either, but this right side is just like...
Doesn't, yes. You have to understand the pocket. And let's go back to the right. Let's do another right side.
So I've done a lot of pull-ups, deadlifts, a lot of things that just work my
Look
back.
at the thickness. Let's just show the thickness of the back. I mean, that's hot. That's elite level lats.
Yeah, so, lots of weighted pull-ups, things that develop this and depress the shoulder. So I've kind of been hoping that was going to naturally fix my shoulder, but it hasn't.
Exactly. And so when you're doing pull-ups, it's more of an internal, internal rotation of the shoulder.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're actually doing is we're doing external rotation by depressing. And that's the difference, is that we're moving this way. As soon as you start doing this shoulder's going to move forward because it's an internal rotation.
Basically.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what the Teres Major is designed to do. That's why I say as a result, because you're pulling, the Teres Major will get developed, but it's really the Teres Minor along with the lower section of the infraspinatus that changes the structure of the shoulder. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
So it's counterintuitive because everybody thinks that by rolling the shoulder, this is how he is, right? But he's like this because his shoulder's lifted up. Your traps are pulling up. So if I depress it down, but if I keep the elbow out here, watch. So I'm actually going to take him out here, and now watch here. Almost a 45 angle cut here. I'm going to hold this. Now push the shoulder down. Nope, don't roll it back, just down. That's what I want. That's what I want. Lift, good. Now it's driving that way. Now we're going to move this elbow back, let it move back. Now push down. Do you see how it wants to do this?
Now it's rolling forward.
Okay, so here, now push, bam, that's it. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is that's it right there. Now you understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the most important thing, go ahead, take a break. The most important, we're going to try that on the other side. The most important thing that people need to understand is watch. The farther my elbow goes out, obviously I don't want to be here. But if I have that, when I'm starting out, if I have that 40-degree angle here, 45-degree angle from here to here, if I hold this in place and push down, look at where the shoulder moves. Okay, I start facilitating that. If I move this here and I push down, look where the shoulder moves. Here, look at how it moves. Here. So that's the key to this, it's the elbow positioning. That's why people are like, they'll watch my app, they do a session with me, and they're like this, here, is this correct? No, it's not correct. Here's an example here, wing and scap, okay? We're starting to get this to go flat. What I like doing with clients is I'll go like this, and push this in so they can feel, let that push in, let that push forward more, no, yes. Do you feel that right there? And look at how his shoulder had it positioned. You see how it came forward more?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's where he's got to start. Now, look at it, it's completely flat. If he rolls back, go ahead, roll back. Boom. Okay, it's going to start winging, but he's got better grab now. You feel how that's more, right there, it's starting to wing. Okay, so go back where it doesn't wing. That's where he starts, right there.
The mirror with visual feedback actually helps quite a bit because it's a new position. It's something I've never worked on before, So I'm like, I don't really know where my body is in space, but just having that visual component, I think that helps a lot.
That's why I tell people, when you're practicing this, you have to have a mirror with all the shoulder exercises and the first 2 hip exercises in the app. And you also have to have me.
Yeah. Also, how did you get those delts though? You're talking about my lats, you got huge delts.
Thank you. It's the shoulder, as I get better, the elbow moves. No, watch. He's starting here, right here. I can't even do it anymore because this is where I started. But we're here, and then watch. He's going to push down. Watch this, Josh. Watch what's going to happen to the shoulder. Do you see how it moves? Now look.
Yeah.
It's not, and then the elbow comes back. Why? Because the shoulder, but look at the angle. It remains the same. You see it? And then you go to here.
Yeah. It makes so much sense. We want to keep the elbow stable and just move the shoulder because that's what we're working on, right?
Right, because if this goes here, it's going to do this.
Right.
Then it turns into, if I do this, if I pull the shoulder all the way back and try to push down, then you're going to get into this position. So it's not the elbow that moves, it's the shoulder that moves, and then the elbow comes along for the ride.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next exercise. You got it.
Okay. Yeah.
The right side, we're going to grab the Teres Minor. On the left side, we're going to grab the rear delt.
Okay.
Trust me, just start with 3.
Okay.
Real men use 3. Real men use 3 pounds.
Man, I could barely do 3 pounds. It's tough.
What we're going to do is watch. We're going to go here. We're going to cross our leg over like so. The key with this one is to really open the hip up. Okay? A lot of people, what they do is they turn down too far, and then my shoulder here. I want to open up around 45 degrees here.
Okay.
And then we're going to line for you, we're going to start with our knuckle here, top part of our hand, just below the belt line a little bit. And we're moving on this belt line, the angle. So when we're moving up, we're moving like this.
Okay.
Here. Not straight up and down, at an angle. And then I want you to keep the shoulder depressed down, and then just move on that angle there, just like that.
Okay.
Bring the arm out just a little bit. Right there. That's what I want. And just fire on up. Good. Perfect. Yep. I want you to tag back here. Right there. Tag the rear delt. Feel the weakness?
Yeah.
Good. Yep. No trap. Move on an angle. Angle. Yes. Good. See how he stays in control. If I move his arm up too far, go ahead. Yeah. And then now it's going to be, push it down. Do you see how it wants to go to here?
Yeah.
The higher level is here.
Okay.
But then now you're going to get more trap. You
Yeah,
see?
already
Okay.
feel, yeah.
Exactly. So we're going to develop it here.
Okay.
And then it moves to here.
Okay.
Okay? But we're going to start here.
Oh, sorry here.
Yeah. Just move on the angle. All right, let's go behind, babe, so he can look at the camera. Yeah, it's going to be a short range, and just think of the shoulder not moving here. That's it, right to there. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Now just tag that. And this is really, if you come over top here, he's got some tattoos, but it's harder to see. But I mean, dude, there is literally no rear delt muscle right here.
Really?
There's nothing.
Wow.
On this side, we're actually focusing less on the rear delt and more on the Teres Minor. So here and here, right here, the leverage is on the Teres Minor. And then as it gets higher, the leverage goes into the rear delt. But even this rear delt, it's very underdeveloped on both sides. This is, but it's because of this connection to this Teres Minor. That's good. And this is really hard for him. Just stay low and go here to here. The right side's always going to be weaker in any type of rotator cuff position. This is working his rotator cuff, the rear delt, and infraspinatus and Teres Minor. Right here, look. What is this? This is rotator cuff. So we're just following. He doesn't want to. He wants to go straight.
Okay.
Follow that line.
A bit more.
But he can't see himself, so that's part of the problem. Lock, a little straight. Right there. This is super weak. Yep.
Yeah, I'm shaking already.
So we're going to go to 2 pounds. So here's an elite level athlete And he's being a real man. A real man. He's using 2 pounds. But this just shows how underdeveloped that Teres Minor is.
I'm gonna have to ask my wife to use her weights.
Right to there. Don't go so low. When you go low, what's happening is go lower.
Yeah.
Do you see how it wants to roll?
Okay.
Okay, so here, right there, right there, to there. There it is. That's your zone. And then discipline that shoulder there. Focus on what you see in the mirror. It was really hard for him to understand the technique because he couldn't see himself because we were filming. So now he's using that mirror and he's just following that line of his belt. That's it. And now you understand the control. Good. Exactly. So when I started with this, I was like him, okay? And that was like 2 months ago because I couldn't figure out how to get my Teres Minor to work. I saw Arnold doing this exercise here, and then I realized it's the bottom. That is the whole key. It's this here. And then rear delt. Teres Minor, lower infraspinatus, rear delt. Okay, so that's 8 pounds. And I thought there was something wrong with I thought maybe I had a tear because I could only get my shoulder like 95%. I went to get an MRI, and they told me that my Teres Minor was atrophied. And I'm thinking, how the hell was it atrophied with all the stuff I'm doing? But they told me my shoulder was one of the best things that they'd ever seen at 45, 46 years old. But this is what got it to turn on. And now my right shoulder is 100%. There's no issues, everything, any types of bench, but it all came down to this was the finishing piece for me. But I had everything else put in place. Okay, so it's not just this exercise, but this is a huge part, especially for him, because it exposes the weakness.
Could I ask you, so I mentioned like throwing a lot, and then you mentioned playing tennis growing up. Do you see this in a lot of people who are like using that right shoulder for that type of motion?
Yeah. So if you're right-handed, you're going to lead with your left leg forward. Your hips are going to rotate this way, and the shoulder's going to round and lift every time. And if you're throughout the day, when you go to grab something, look what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm constantly in this position. What does this do? This pulls. So the left shoulder really gets developed through here, but the right shoulder, when you throw, boom, rear delt, rear. You know, you get these imbalances depending on the person and depending on how they lift. You know, you're going to see some different imbalances, but in general, if you're right-handed, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's like thousands of repetitions of the humerus like going forward.
Exactly.
Joint, right?
Exactly.
So it takes something like this.
And then it's dysfunctional. And so for you, and the other one is the pants pull muscle. Okay, that's what we're going to work on next because this is highly underdeveloped. This piece, dude. It's all right. So that's what we're going to go to next. So if you see here, I got 4 finger thickness on both sides. When I started, my right side was 1 finger thick here. There was no muscle development. Now you see 4, okay? 4. Here, it's still a little bit bigger, but that's still 4, okay? So here, so now we're gonna look at his, okay? This is how I feel good about myself because his body's about 20 times better than mine. Okay, so let's go into this rear delt here and get right over top. So it's starting to wing here. You feel, or that's just, look at his teres. It's massive. Just let that go.
Okay.
But the rear delt is 1.
Oh no.
He's got 1 finger thickness here. 1 finger thickness. So this is causing anchoring issues.
Yeah.
It's Teres Minor, but it's also rear delt. Okay, if we look at the other side, there's this major problem side. 1. 2 maybe, but I'd say 1. Sorry, brother. We got some work to do.
Oh no.
We got some work to do.
This is good, but this is nice because it's like we're finding where the issue is, obviously, right?
Look out, please, too. Yep. What we're going to do is, first I'm going to teach him the basic positioning, all right? So again, it's the same concept. We have to take the traps out. So to take the traps out, we have to roll the shoulder forward. So we're going to go here like this, go like this from here. Yep, good. Yeah, good. And now bend your knees a little bit and lean.
It's like Conor McGregor.
Exactly. And that's what I say. Conor McGregor is going to have shoulder issues.
Okay.
Hopefully he calls me. Okay. Let this relax here.
Okay.
Light, but there. Good. And now he's in a position now with this technique here. If we look at from the side, turn sideways.
Yep.
we look at it from the side, he's in a position, go lean over a little bit more. I want his front of his shoulder in line with the front of his chest. Perfect. And now what we're going to do is, we're just going to be real light with the side of the arms here. And that's your basic position. And now we're going to grab a weight. Let's start with 5 pounds. And hold. And I want you to turn this on here. Don't come up any higher than that. Okay. The higher he comes up, go, come up higher. Look at what his trap just did. So I need to have him stay low.
Okay.
Stay low. Yeah, where you can keep it. Did you feel that?
Mm-hmm.
I just dropped his trap down. That's where you start, there. And now just be light on your sides here. Now face forward to the camera.
Oh.
Yep. So the key with this one is the elbow has to stay out, the hands here, and the trap is there. Did you feel what I just did?
Yeah.
There. Let it settle in there. Now grab that muscle there. Yep. Real light right there, but stay in contact. There it goes, right here. Did you feel it?
Yeah.
Don't move. That's perfect.
And I'm just holding.
Hold that for 30. It's going to start shaking. Just hold it. You're on it. Look at it. It's shaking.
Yeah.
Good. If I turn back to the side. Now go up a little higher with the arm. Do you feel how hard it is? This wants to fight. Now drop it lower. That's where I want you. Did you feel?
Mm-hmm.
So it's internally rotating like this in order to hit this delt. And that's what's so difficult, because if I do if I do a regular one, if I just let him go like this, he's so trap dominant. When I do this, does it develop this? Yeah, because it's developed. So it works with my traps, it works with everything. If he goes to do this, he just feels trapped and there's no isolation. You see?
Yes.
So this is where you start. Then as it develops, it goes higher, but look, I stay in control of the trap.
Okay.
And then eventually, when I shrug now, everything is working as a unit, so it gets developed no matter what.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Let's do the other side.
And the other side.